So I'm back, but I'm not back with the video that I said that I was going to record because I'm still kind of just trying to put the thoughts together in my head. And I don't know, I kind of like this formatting of a little bit of rambling, a little bit of poetry, and I'm just gonna stick with it for now until I feel like I come up with something else or God gives me a different idea. This poem came to my mind this morning and I wanted to share it with you all. I wrote it in 2022, so it's been 3 years. It's a little bit of an older piece, but it's a piece that still resonates with me a lot. And I, pray to the Lord that it resonates with you too. I actually wrote, which I usually don't do this, but I wrote at the top of this poem, like at the time that I wrote it, I had written at the top of this poem the reason why I wrote it and the motivation behind it. And I typically don't do that. And I was just gonna read to you that part, but I decided instead that I was gonna explain it as well. So it says here, I wrote this after a tough class. The subject matter brought me back to a bad place. So I felt anxiety creeping up and also pain and aching, ready to consume me. So I went to the water, to the cliff. I took myself off on this page. All of me is here. All of him is here. I didn't pray. I just wrote what came to my heart and I let these words heal me. And the sun shone on me. And I wrote until I was done and I started to feel the cold get to me. In the silence, he poured his peace into me in a subtle, quiet way. And I'm overwhelmed in a subtle, quiet way. He is always here. And I walked away renewed. I am not my past. I am his. As I'm reading that, the verse that comes to my mind is, he is near to the brokenhearted and he saves those that are crushed in spirit. And that verse is so powerful because I think we have this horrible habit of trying to hide how we feel, trying to pretend, trying to run away from God and run away from people who can help us, who can comfort us when we're in pain. Instead of running towards healing and the solution, we run away. And if there's something that I was learning during this time period and I'm always bringing back into memory is when I'm in pain, who do I run to? And when I'm in pain, I run to Jesus. And if I need to also talk to a friend and tell them what's going on and, be comforted. The word of God says that the Lord comforts us that we may comfort others, right? So we're not supposed to be just kind of going through pain on our own, isolated. And yet, even though God is omnipresent, we hide from him or we try to hide from him, right? And Psalm 139 tells us, right? Like, where can I go from your presence? Where can I hide from you, right? If I go down to the deep, if I go up to the mountains, you are there. So no matter where we go or where we try to hide, the Lord is there. He sees you. And if you've ever doubted that someone sees you, I'm going to tell you right now, God sees you. He sees you. He sees all of you. He sees the things that you don't want to show people, that you don't want to talk about. God sees it all, right? And so this poem came from a place of very intense pain. I was brought back to a horrible memory that I thought that I had already healed from, that I thought that I had already forgotten. But the subject matter in this class was so intense that it did remind me of that pain, that it did bring back those feelings. And I could have just shut down and been like, but instead I was like, Lord, I'm going to run to you, Remember that day I left class and, in my university, as I mentioned before, we were like right next to the water's edge. So there was a cliff and you could see the whole, you could see the ocean from there, not the whole ocean, but like the bay. Anyways. And I sat there and I just literally, as I said here, I just sat there and I didn't even get into a whole prayer session. It was very much like a Jesus, I need you type of moment. And he hears our prayers and our thoughts, even when we have nothing to say, we can't put the words together. But I put myself into his hands in that moment. I didn't need to say it. He knew that I was putting myself into his hands in that moment. And I even felt horrible because I was like, I thought that I was over this. I, shouldn't be feeling bad about something that I already gave to God, right? I shouldn't be feeling some type of way about it. But I consider the name of one of Jacob's sons, Manasseh. which means the God who makes me forget. And I think about that because that's a word that God gave me at the beginning of this year, the God who makes me forget. The name Ephraim goes hand in hand with that. God has made me fruitful, right? And when the Lord makes us forget and he takes away the pain of those memories, right? Because I'm describing to you what happened, but I don't recall the pain of that moment because the Lord came through and his presence took it away. The same way that I don't recall the pain of the memories from my past. The only time that they come back is when maybe I'm talking to someone about it to give them a testimony so that I can empathize with their brokenness in that moment. But in reality, it's not something that affects me, but the Lord wasn't condemning me for the pain that those memories were causing me. He wasn't condemning me for the fact that I hadn't fully healed from something that I thought I should have gotten over. I condemned myself. Self-condemnation will never take you towards healing. Self-condemnation just keeps you in a cycle of remembering the things that hurt you the first time over and over and over again. And it's something that is worth remembering. And I like to think of it in the memory of the names of Jacob, right? God who has made me forget and the God who has made me fruitful. After the Lord has healed us, after he has erased that pain, after he has been near to us in our brokenheartedness, the Lord makes us fruitful. I just want to leave you with the thoughts that this poem brings back to me. And in the same way that the Lord was near to me in my brokenheartedness, when my spirit was crushed, when I felt weak, when I felt pain, the Lord is also near to you. And that's what I want you to meditate on when I'm reading this poem. I want you to meditate on the fact, the truth, that the Lord is near to you, period. The sun knows everything. The earth has passed it by, made revolutions around its core enough times to be seen all the way through. We do our worst deeds in the dark, when we can't see how deep the knife slices, though we smell what's rotten. We cannot see the wounds when the lights are off, so it's as if nothing festered at all. Only voices, shuddering in the void. Only the pain felt when welts form after we bump and slide into dangers we can only outline. And sometimes we catch refractions of something like light. Disillusioned, we come close and realize it's nothing at all. It may be light, but it's not the kind that expands. It's not the kind that scares shadows and starts house fires. It doesn't wield a sword. The sun knows everything. I've passed him by enough times, made revolutions around his heart to be seen all the way through. And when I get the oil, shaky hands grasp the flask and I drink it up, and the sun grabs the matches, and all of a sudden I'm burning up, I'm falling and I'm flying and I'm everything that I can't be when the lights are off. All of a sudden, I can see the bumps and bruises on my skin like maps that I had only felt pulsing against my flesh, and now I can see all my limbs unrecognizable, but I do know their functions. And that stench, tracing back to all the parts of me that were severed. And all of a sudden, fire threads itself through all the places where I once lacked, and now I'm ignited, and all that was taken from me is returned, glorified, sewn back, all the limbs, and all the sharp objects, the knives, they burn up. Only what the word has made stays alive, and all I am is encased in flames.